I'm really excited to make this video. This is just going to be a short introduction video to the Swimming Pool Steve Test Lab. And here at the Swimming Pool Steve Test Lab, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to learn a little bit more about variable speed pumps in particular, in terms of how much power they consume, how much flow they typically achieve, and through these series of videos that I'm going to be making, I hope to be able to make an apples to apples comparison. If somebody were to ask me today, hey Steve, what's the best, most efficient variable speed pump on the market? I'd have a few names that come to mind, but there's really nothing that I could point to that's definitive that really shows me that one pump is any better than the next. And so through this video, I'm going to try to identify what makes one pump more efficient than the next. And so just to run you through what I've got installed here, a lot of my subscribers are swimming pool technicians, so they probably recognize all of this already, but just a quick run through in case you find this confusing. What I have here is I have a 1,000-liter test tank, about 250 gallons or so, and from that I'm going to be running this pump right now, but I'm going to be testing as many pumps as I can get a hold of, starting with the Superflow variable speed from Pentair here. So what I have is I have the option to run these pumps either off of a natural 1.5-inch system or a natural 2-inch system in an attempt to replicate as close as possible to real world conditions that swimming pool pumps operate under. And the vast majority of swimming pool owners will have either 1.5-inch or 2-inch plumbing. So with this system, I'll be able to use either the 1.5-inch or 2-inch suction lines and the 1.5-inch or 2-inch return lines. And the way that I can do that is isolating with these 3-way valves here. And in particular, you might be looking at this and saying, well, how do you test for 1.5 inch? Right now, these are 2-inch inlets and outlets, but I have replacement nipples here that I can put for 1.5 inch. Right now, this system is set up to run at 2-inch. So I would eliminate or close off the 1.5 inch on the suction and draw only through the 2-inch suction line. Similarly, on the pressure side, I would close off the 1.5 inch side, and all the pressure is going to be running through the 2-inch side. So in this particular instance, when running this pump, it would be most comparable to an installation that uses 2-inch plumbing. However, there's a ton of equipment, or a ton of older swimming pools on the market, that still have 1.5 inch plumbing, and it's really limiting when it comes to variable speed pumps. A lot of the variable speed pumps are they're either too powerful to use at all, or they're too powerful to realize the true potential of the pump. You'll never realize the potential flow that it could have if you had larger plumbing. So that's something that I'm going to be able to test more of to determine, how much of a difference is there between 1.5 inch and 2-inch? Does it really make that much of a difference? And I think that that's the kind of information that a lot of people would be interested in seeing the numbers behind. And that's what this haul is for the numbers. Up here, what you see behind me, those are wattage meters, and the wattage meters are going to allow me to monitor in real time the amperage draw of these pumps. A lot of the new variable speed pumps, like this Superflow VS here, has a wattage meter that tells you a real-time wattage calculation of how much power this pump is consuming. So in some situations, the information will be redundant, because this is telling me how many watts it's using, this is telling me how many watts, but this also tells me more. This tells me the exact voltage that's being supplied to the equipment. It also tells me the real-time current draw, the watt hours that the pump has consumed over X period of time. There's a lot of information that we can gain from doing this, and I have both 240 and 120 volt power supplies and wattage meters, so that we can really test pretty much anything that's on the market. And when I send the water through on the pressure side, I'm going to be monitoring the flow. The amount of flow that a pump can generate is probably the most important information that a swimming pool owner needs. And so you can see I've got one up here already, just waiting on one more to arrive. And I think I'm going to get a little bit more instrumentation going as well, so I can really determine how much flow these pumps are generating. And I want to be able to compare the flow to the amount of power that the pump is consuming. And I think that information is going to be critical for pool owners to make an informed decision about, is this pump going to actually save me any money? And that's what I'm going to try to answer for you. I'm going to do some calculations based on how much power it consumes, and then compare that to common electricity rates that people would pay. You hear the argument a lot of times against variable speed pumps saying, I just have a single speed pump and I run it 4 hours a day or 6 hours a day or 8 hours a day. Are you actually saving any money doing that? You know, aside from the fact that, you know, maybe I might disagree that running your pool pump only 4 hours a day, I don't really think that's a good idea. That being said, I mean, if you've been doing it forever and your pool doesn't always turn green, I guess you've got an argument that you're filtering it enough. That being said, I think that I can show you with this setup that you will save so much with a variable speed pump that it actually makes the purchase price worthwhile. You do end up saving more in the long run versus running a single speed pump. But just how many hours a day does it take to run a single speed pump to negate the financial advantage of electrical savings? I'm not really sure, and I'm not sure anybody has that answer, but I'm going to try to find out as best as I can with this setup. So if you are interested in seeing more of these videos as they come out, please be sure to subscribe and like this video, and you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.